Saimina kitamskat now. Kitatumskat now. My syllabics teacher says kitatumskate now. It's like really precise, but the way I hear it, mana kitamskat now. Kakyo, greet you all once again. Aaron Tsigasan. Siniwa Tsiwaskagan Utinia. Siniwa Tsi Rocky Mountain House. So where I'm from, I am a student of the Plains Cree language, and I wanted to put some more stuff together on technology and language. I'm actually a software engineer here in Canada, and we're working on some stuff for nêhiyawêwin and some other stuff, but I want to talk about some other technology that's out there because there's lots of good stuff out there right now. And if you are new to learning the language, nêhiyawêwin, or even a couple other dialects like TH or N dialect, if you're new to the language and you're just learning about verbs in Cree or learning, about conjugation and stuff, then you should, if you haven't already, absolutely take a look at this app, which is probably, in my opinion, the most underrated app out there right now. It's probably still one of the best ones. An app by a fellow by the name of Wilfred Bird. Shout out to Will, called Cree Conjugation. And when you start learning the language, sometimes you'll like to learn some words like birds and trees and animals and things like that. But then we start to learn how to say, I went to work today, or I saw my friend, or these different things, and we realize that Cree is a little bit different than English, in that English is a noun-based language and Cree is a verb-based language. Without getting too deep into it, in English we say, I saw you, you saw me. Whoever was doing the seeing is dependent on the pronouns. It's noun-based. But in Cree, you have to inflect the verb, meaning you have to change the way the verb is said with these affixes, these parts that go on the beginning and the end, to change what the word means. And so it can get really, and they call those paradigms, verb paradigms. I'm not going to teach you verb paradigms. You can teach yourself verb paradigms. I'm not going to show you this app because this app is really cool. Cree Conjugation, unfortunately, it's only available if you have an iPad or an iPhone. You can use this app. It's not available for Android right now. But anyway, go to the App Store, Cree Conjugation. The icon looks like this. And I'm going to flip over to I have an iPad in the house, but I actually have this iPhone running on my laptop so that I can show off this app. So when you open it up, it's going to look just like this. And there's a couple hundred verbs in here, so we're just going to search for one here. Nêhiyawêwin. So there's 4 different kinds of verbs, and I'm not going to get really deep into what they all are, but we talk about them just really quick. There are verbs that have to do with animate things, or generally speaking, living things, and there are verbs that have to do with inanimate things, or generally speaking, non-living things. So inanimate verbs in the intransitive class, transitivity is transitive means transferring an action, like I see it. There are 2 things there, me and the thing I'm seeing, or I see her, me and that person. But if it's just like I work or it is sunny, there's only the thing that's happening. There's no transfer. So those are intransitive. So the intransitive animate verbs are typically like weather terms, like wapan or miasin or tagake, like things like that. Maybe tagake might be particle. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Then there are animate verbs that are intransitive. There's called VAIs, and they're like I work, you eat, I see, you walk, I run, we slept, stuff like that. And the transitive ones, there's the VTIs, which are transitive inanimate, and that means like I see it, I touch it, I cook it, I drink it. There's transitivity, and there's only one way because we're dealing with an inanimate thing. And then the last category is the transitive animate verbs, which is I see you, you see me, we saw them, they saw us, we all saw each other, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to teach you. You can go on Facebook or YouTube and find that stuff out there. So go out and study that. But when you get to conjugation, the one thing that makes this app really good is it has lots of those different verbs in there, different verb types. And if we go in here, the thing that this app has that lots of other ones don't is it has the translations. Now, I know some words in Cree can mean different things than what the translation says, but this one's really good if you're learning. So you'll usually find we've got some numbers here, 1, 2, 3. These are just what they call the pronoun markers. So 1 means me, that's the first person. 2 means you, that's the second person. 3 is that person. This is the one you usually find in the dictionary is the third person. So nêhiyawêwin, that person speaks Cree. Okay. If I want to say I speak Cree, I want this one here. Nêhiyawêwin, or you speak Cree. Nêhiyawêwin. There's this one with the little apostrophe beside it is called the obviative, which is like the further person. And we don't need to get into that, but it's good to be aware that it's there. Nêhiyawêwin. And then there's this concept of we speak Cree, but not you. Nêhiyawênan, that's us, but not you. This is all of us. There's 2 ways to say this. Nêhiyawêno, we all speak Cree. Or this one I hear too. Nêhiyawênano, that's all of you. That's that 2 plural, all of you. Nêhiyawêwin, they all speak Cree. Nêhiyawêwin, they speak Cree. And then this app goes even further. We can say it, I did this in the past. Nêhiyawêwin, I spoke Cree. Or we can go into the future. Nêhiyawêwin, I will speak Cree. And this one's another future one that's more definite. Nêhiyawêwin, I'm going to speak Cree. It's going to happen. Nêhiyawêwin, I can speak Cree, or I should speak Cree. Then we can flip over to the conjunct. Conjunct is usually described that as like the ing, like I am speaking Cree. And there's more in here. You can study these. I who speak Cree, I who did speak Cree, or when I spoke Cree. And this to speak Cree, nêhiyawêwin. Nêhiyawêwin, I like it. Nêhiyawêwin, to speak Cree. That's that one right there. This one's good too. It's a little bit different. Nêhiyawêwin, when I speak Cree. So there's all of these ones in there. And then there's the imperative. So the imperative just means the command form. Nêhiyawê, speak Cree. Nêhiyawêk, all of you, speak Cree. Nêhiyawêtan, let's speak Cree. So this is good. You can just study on your own. And then, for a bonus, if you drag this little box here, you can add preverbs. Oh, I don't need that right now. You can add preverbs, kakwe, and it'll just pop in there. Nakakwe nêhiyawêwin, I try to speak Cree. If we go down here, Wikakwe nêhiyawêwin, I will try to speak Cree. Nigikakwe nêhiyawêwin, I did try to speak Cree. So you can change this up and learn different ways to say things. Just going to spin that like a kind of bingo. Boni nêhiyawêwin, I stopped speaking Cree, but that's not going to happen. I'm just going to keep going. Isogi nêhiyawêwin, that kind of sounds funny. I'm really going to speak Cree. Anyway, let's pick a different one. You can get into the VTIs. Again, these have to do with something. Agi, tam. Nitagi, then I count it. I count it, or I count them, I guess. Agi, tam, that one. And same thing. And then when you get into the VTAs are the ones that involve 2 people. So me or you and someone else. And this one has a little bit more. So let's pick a good one. Let's go Biggest squirrel is in here. Oh, I think that's actually a mistake. Oh no, pig squirrel. Pig squatam. Pig squateo is not in here, so we could add that if we wanted to. I'll get to that in a second. Let's pick another one. Pigastuel. Let's pick a good one. Scale. I will. Oh man, there's lots of verbs in here. Itotahil, itwil, tapu, itapu. Kakwitsamel, there's a good one right there. So this is a VTA. So it's transitive involving another person. And so there's a few more boxes at the bottom and there's this extra button. Because I can see I asked that person. If I click this, plural, I ask them a question. So this one is, I ask that one person a question. Or I can pluralize that. I ask them a question. Okay, it stays the same for this third person. You say it the same, whether it's one, that person asked that person, or that person asked them, is the same. And then there's the same. You have imperatives. Ask that person. You all ask that person. Let's ask that person. And all of the conjunct, same as the other one. But with this one, we have the inverse because that person could ask me a question. That person asks me. And then that one can be plural too. They ask me. They ask me a question, right? And then there's me and you, which is different altogether. I ask you. You ask me. So there's a whole another set here to study. And same with those, you can add the preverbs in there to all of these ones. I try to ask I try to ask you a question. All right, so the last thing I want to show you that you can do with this is if you can't find a verb in there, like nêhiyawêwin, I speak Cree, but what if I want to say I only speak a little Cree? I can add my own word in here. Nêhiyawêwin. I speak a little Cree. Oh no, this would be that person, not me. My mistake. Let me fix that. Speaks a little Cree. All right, and if I put my verb type in there via then I save this, it's going to put it in there and I get access to the whole thing. So I can say, nêhiyawêwin, I speak a little Cree. Nêhiyawêwin, you speak a little Cree. Nêhiyawêsu, nêhiyawêsiwa. I've never said that one before. Nêhiyawêsanan, we speak a little Cree. Nêhiyawêsino, we all speak a little bit of Cree. So I can save that in there. So if I have a verb, the only thing I need to do is make sure that I have the SRO and I have the right verb type, and I can put my own verbs in here and it will conjugate it for me. All right, that's everything I wanted to show you. I really hope this is helpful if you're learning the language. One more shout out to Will. I use this app so much and it's truly awesome for getting started with the language. So thanks again, Wilfred. And now, I greet you all again, and we'll see you at the next one. Muestas.